Welcome to Present Poetry. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and all poems within this podcast are either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for poetry lovers of all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear some poems of the past and the present. This week's featured poet is Carla Sarett. Carla Sarett is a poet and fiction writer based in San Francisco. She has a Ph.D. from the University of Pennsylvania and has written 2 novels, A Closet Feminist, published through Unsolicited Press, and The Looking Glass, published through Propertius Press. However, her poems have appeared in numerous literary journals, including Blue Unicorn, Prole, the Naugatuck River Review, Hamilton Stone Review, Thimble, and more. You can connect with Carla through her Twitter, or find a collection of her works on Goodreads, Amazon's, and through her blog, all of which I will link in the show notes. Today we are reading from She Has Visions, her debut poetry collection, which she is set to publish through Main Street Rag Press in November of this year. This poem is called Dead, My Mother Moves In. Why are you here? I ask. From behind she looks small or smaller. By lunch she shrinks to half this size. Who knows, by dinner she might fit in my kitchen cabinet. Clutter never bothers her. Only the living needs space and time, and it's never enough. Where else should I be? She asks. We stir old bones, cracked bones, wishbones from last year's sad Thanksgiving, organic, and the ones before, the doomed supermarket birds. Oh, we're helpless with leftovers. This poem is called Habit of Want. That winter was always ice or storms. The weather uncertain, even windier on Houston. I can't say why I walked so late when snow was falling thickly and promised to last till dawn. But in this moonless haze, this, I know, is what I saw. A single illuminated storefront, a single dress of flaming crimson, its skirt a perfect circle, its neckline a perfect square, a dress I'd always wanted without naming my wanting, to go with my black velvet heels. Returning home a few blocks over to a man I didn't love and never would, I wondered how a store, however lit, could last with one dress, only darkness behind it. And when snow had melted, not that week, but the one after, I went back to the street I'd walked, alone in daylight, and found nothing. I have searched for the dress, now and then, more for the proof of it, since I've lost the habit of wanting things or people, and I forget which street I walked down in that uncertain season. This poem is called Paper Prophecies. I walk through Dragon's Gate, past tourist shops with girlish things, turquoise satin pouches, crimson keychains, unicorn lunchboxes, glow-in-the-dark yo-yos, party favors from a brighter decade before I misplaced my calendars. Before I forgot about wars and murders, crowds jostled here for hanging ducks. All's disappeared like a mad conjurer's trick, yet my favored bakery survived the year. A stooped woman, tiny as my grandmother, smiles the smile of sad women. She knows. I used to come here as 2. Our hands touched, but not long enough. She sells me a bag full of fortune cookies. I wish I could tell her I come upon pleated strips, in drawers, in the hollows of old purses. I store my paper fortunes, to see the word happy, to see the word tomorrow. This poem is called Ruth's Lily. Not a transplant candidate is how they put it. I'm the proxy this time. I know that livers are precious. They don't see Ruth, her Renaissance forehead, her lily of Paris coat, black and white houndstooth swings like the 60s. Sweet grapefruit breath, Betty Davis diction, Margot and All About Eve. After the glass eye, grueling surgeries, it's a bumpy ride, darling, she'd say in between vodkas. She was going blind. I listened to Bach's Brandenburgs. The fourth is my lighthouse. Ruth's favorite, too. But iTunes shuffles the order, the starts, the endings. Nothing makes sense. I let go of sense, of the sense of sense. Ruth's vintage lily floats down Fifth Avenue, never an end in sight. This poem is called Cactus Rose. You knew the rock collector in me, how I prized black glass from volcanoes, shimmering pyrite and mica schist. In the man who shot Liberty Valance, that lonely blossom against all the wildness made me cry every single time we sat together, every single time. My brother's name every single time, over and over, like the cactus rose we saw together when I was known. Thank you for listening to this episode of Present Poetry. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review, share us on social media, or subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you would like to learn more about the featured poet, or you would like your work featured on the podcast, please check out the links in the show notes. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.